If you're tired of not making progress and you're ready to be the artist you know you're meant to be, you're in the right place. You're listening to the Singer's Path podcast. The Path, or Performing Artists Training Hub, will cover everything, including singing tips that actually work, advice from top industry professionals, and life-changing mindset shifts. Out with the starving artist and in with the thriving artist. I'm your host, Sarah Bishop, professional singer, actor, educator, and entrepreneur. I'm not afraid to speak the truth and stop the gatekeeping of quality information so you can actually become the artist you dream of being. So let's get on the path, shall we? Even though we're all on our own journeys, it always helps to have a guide. Hello, welcome back. It's me, it's Sarah. And today's going to be a fun, punchy episode because I get this question a lot in my social media, which is, how do I find a good voice teacher that works for me? What should I look for? And I love this question because I know so many great voice teachers at this point, but I also, before I became a voice teacher and got connected with all these people, I had the same question. I wondered how I would find someone that would work best for me. And, for a while, it was just going off of recommendations, like who did everybody else study with, or who had the clients that were the most successful. That was a way that I would look at, okay, well, they have clients that have gone into this school. And since I want to go to that school, I'll go to them too. But really what comes down to having a great voice teacher are these things that we're going to break down today. Also, before we dive in, I just wanted to remind you that this is your final chance to sign up for the absolutely free class called Starting to Sing that we'll be hosting on March 26th. This class is going to focus on getting your body and your nervous system ready to be confident to go into your voice lessons, or if you're already in voice lessons, to get more out of it so that you can really tune into your body. And we're going to be combing through stories that we kind of talked about in the last episodes that might be coming up. We're also going to explore the sounds that you might run into when you're studying with a good teacher and what might come up for us while we're in lessons. How do we manage those feelings of, oh my God, I don't like how I sound, or what's going on? How do we make our body feel more safe exploring that? So no matter what level singer you are, this is going to be extremely helpful, and it's absolutely free, and I really hope to see you there. So stop what you're doing right now, click the button below, and sign up before you forget. So let's get started. What do we look for when we're looking for a good voice teacher that's going to work for us? Every singer has been here at some point where maybe they've been in lessons with someone and they just don't really feel like they're improving very much. Which, by the way, guys, you should absolutely be seeing improvement. Maybe you have to go through some periods where, you don't sound exactly the way you want, but you should be leaving your lesson feeling like your voice feels better when you leave, and that things are shifting and changing, and that, when you practice, you see that there's improvement. If you don't think that that's happening, if your teacher isn't even giving you good feedback, that's they're not giving you functional things that are actually going to improve you and move the needle to the direction that you want to go, then it's time to get a new teacher. Your teacher should be skilled enough to come up with a plan and give you custom made exercises based off of where you are so that you actually improve. So if you're in that place and you're like, oh yeah, I don't really feel like I'm learning a whole lot from my voice teacher. I mean, she's nice, but I don't know, I don't really feel like my voice is changing. Then maybe it's time to get a new teacher. Or maybe you're a brand new, a self-proclaimed singer. You're ready to start, right? You're getting comfortable with calling yourself a singer. You want to pay someone for a lesson. What do we look for when we are looking for a good teacher? Now, I want to just talk about the elephant in the room right away is price point. Okay. Some of the best teachers in the world are obviously going to be really expensive. So you need to look at what your goals are. What are you actually trying to get out of this experience? Are you trying to be a professional singer, right? Do you need to keep up with your instrument, or do you need to learn from the ground up? How much can you consistently go and how much can you afford? The standard pricing in New York City for a top teacher is $200 an hour. Okay. That's the standard price. And those people are good. However, when you're looking, I want you to look at their training too, because sometimes someone may have performed in something But that doesn't necessarily mean that they have good training. Okay. And I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. But the first thing to notice is how consistently can I show up in the price point with this person? Okay. Because to get farther along, you're going to need to like show up more, and it's going to depend on your needs. So identify what your needs are and identify how frequently can you afford to go. If you want to move farther faster, I recommend going weekly. So picking a price point in which you can afford weekly, but again, bi-weekly will get you far, and even monthly will get you far if you practice and you have the right teacher giving you good exercises. The next thing to focus on is what is their strength and their teaching style. And this is kind of what I was getting to. Their training. Like, what did they train to do and what do they specialize in? I'm a big supporter of IVA teachers, Institute of Vocal Advancement teachers. I'm trained from that, but I just think if you've heard about it before and you're like, oh, didn't that stem from SLS? Yes. However, they've moved away from that association. They took everything that was good and everything that was working, and then they based it in science and pedagogy, and they're constantly updating it. They're constantly inviting like the top like laryngologists from the nation, the top minds studying the voice. They're constantly inviting different opinions and different ways of teaching into the training program to offer the most diverse way of teaching all voices. What I love about IVA and IVA teachers is that they teach you to be a good teacher. They don't just teach you like the pedagogy. They don't just give you a book and say, hey, memorize all this anatomy, and then they don't give you a way to apply it, and they don't teach you how to actually interact and help the students, right? Which I feel that some methods of teaching do, right? IVA is a full mentorship program where you're literally being mentored by the top voice teachers all around the world, I swear to God. And the only reason I have such a strong opinion about this is because I was searching for a long time for teachers that would get me to where I wanted to go. And hands down, the IVA teachers have been the ones to do that. It doesn't matter, what level they're at. This training and this way of teaching is so solid. So you can explore other teachers as well, like other ways of teaching singing. Although, again, I'm partial to IVA, the IVA method. But there's also, again, there's SLS, which IVA broke away from. There's Estel, it's based in a lot of anatomy. Again, I have not trained in Estel. I have taken lessons from teachers in Estel. Again, I am partial to IVA over that. But again, you might find a teacher that is trained in that you really jive with. There's also like other ways. There's evidence-based voice training. There's the old Italian classical school bel canto way of teaching singing, which is going to be more classical based. All of them are kind of related, but overall, you want to kind of experiment with like different teaching styles and different ways that the people are certified, and see which one works for you. Now, that being said, the teacher should be certified in something. They need to have training of some sort in some level of pedagogy, especially if you're going to be paying a lot of money. If you're just paying your friend that's like a good singer and you're just like throwing them some money and they're just like trying to listen to you and give you some feedback, okay. But like know that the more trained and the more experienced the teacher is, like the more you're going to get for your money, just so you know. I admire the performers that are, trying to hustle, they're trying to teach. I get that. However, I also personally believe there is an ethical part and an integrity part of, if you're going to charge hundreds of dollars, like $100+, you need to know what you're talking about. And just because you know how to sing doesn't mean that you're going to be able to teach other voices. You're not going to understand how other voices work. So you do have to be trained and you have to keep up on your education constantly. So across the board, the teacher, in my opinion, to find a good teacher has to have some type of training, preferably IVA because I love IVA, but it doesn't have to be IVA. They have to be practiced and they have to be actively teaching. That's how you're going to find the best people that are going to know what to do with you for your hard-earned money. Now, the other thing I sort of mentioned, and then I kind of went to teacher training, like, are they trained? But is their niche? What is their specialty? What is the thing that they specialize in teaching? And like a teacher's thing can change. Like I started out with randomly specializing in pitch because I was just naturally really good at that. It was like helping to teach people to sing on pitch. But then I created a course from that, which used to be called Pitch Please, but it has a new name that I'm going to be announcing here very soon. But I started off with that, but then I got more experience and I was teaching hours and hours and hours and hours and hundreds of people. And I got more trained in IVA, and now I specialize in really helping like professional singers that are about to take on a really big vocal load. Like they're about to tour with their album, or they're about to go on tour and do a really difficult role, or they're about to lay down their album. And I now specialize in helping them align their voice and explore all the colors that are available to them, because I've studied so deeply how to blend, how to line them up, how to free their voice. And then the differences of like, okay, and now from this point, now we're going to learn to mix belt. And from this point, now we're going to do more of a heady sound. And like, I've become really good at helping singers understand and empower them in their own voice. So that's kind of what my specialty is now. It's giving you guys quality training at different price points so that you can afford it, whether it's in a course through Pillars, or it's at the most intimate way of working with me, which is the high ticket thing that I don't publicly advertise, which is to work with me privately. I don't do like one-off lessons anymore, one-on-one lessons. I do it in a different way now. And I also take group classes. So my specialty of like getting you to understand your voice has shifted from when I was doing pitch, right? But like understand what kind of music you want to sing, right? Like, is your goal really to have a full understanding of your instrument and empower you? Then like coming to me would be a good option. Maybe you just want to like feel more confident about your voice so you can sing at church. Like maybe you want to learn to sing in folk music. Then you came from a classical background, right? Then a teacher like my associate Lily would be really good for you, because she studied classically and got her degree in classical music, and then learned to train classical voices to sing in a more contemporary way. So like that would be a good niche person for you. Maybe you are trying to audition and you're on a budget, but you want a voice teacher that can not only teach you pedagogy and line you up and make you sound the best, but can also help you shape your story of your song, so that when you leave your lesson, like you're ready to go with acting too, and the musical choices that you're going to make that are going to help to tell your story. In that case, a teacher like my other associate, Jeremy, would be good, because Jeremy specializes in music direction and helping to formulate like the musical story in addition to the pedagogy, right? That's why I'm like so proud of these associate teachers that I brought on, because they're so baller and they cover such a diverse group of people, like classical singers or anyone wanting to transition into a more contemporary style, younger singers, all the way through professionals, all the way through they're trying to act and sing at the same time. So like I said, like there's a broad range of people. There's teachers that specialize in teaching rock music. There's teachers that specialize in specifically belting. But overall, like just knowing what your goals are and then finding someone that is going to see those goals and help you reach them to the best of their ability as quickly as possible is huge. The next thing, and this is like a big deal, is like, how does the teacher like make you feel about yourself? Like, do you feel empowered and like singing is fun? Because let me tell you, there are some like really boring and lame teachers out there that you just like you just don't jive with. And like, no matter how much you communicate your agenda, like they have a different agenda. And it's almost like they are ignoring your agenda because maybe they look down on it, but like, here's the deal. You're paying them to help you. Okay. So if you're not driving with your teacher, you don't think like your teacher is listening to you and you're not getting anywhere, that's a reason to shift teachers. So find someone that's like fun, that makes you feel good when you're in your lesson, that you leave your lesson feeling like, I could freaking take over the world right now. I want to sing from the rooftops. I feel so good. Because remember, singing is supposed to be fun, and you're doing something really intimate with someone. You're sharing a very vulnerable part of yourself. So you want to feel safe and you want to feel joyful giving your hard-earned money to this person. The final thing to consider here is whether they're in person or online. And again, I run an exclusive online studio, right? Like I'll do some in-person workshops in New York sometimes, but like I'm not having people come in and out of my house doing voice lessons, because I've trained to teach people to sing online. And I will tell you, before COVID, like I really poo-pooed online voice lessons. I was like, they're not gonna be able to hear me. They're not gonna be able to change. Like, I don't even like want to try it. And when I was getting certified to be a voice teacher, that completely changed my mind because the people that were training me are so good at what they do. And they were so tuned in to like listening and hearing and adjusting voices online that my voice completely transformed. And then I did the same thing. I learned how to teach voices virtually, which helps connect to people across the world. Like I've taught people in Japan and in China, in Australia, in New Zealand, and like it's wild. I've taught people in Europe. I've taught people in the Middle East before. It's like actually insane. So that being said, like a virtual teacher will actually hook you up with someone that might be a specialist and might be like one of the best teachers that you could come across, but they're in a different country. But like, don't let that limit you if it's virtual, besides the time zone difference, because that can be tough. But like, do you know what I'm saying? Like you can trust that if a teacher has an online business, like they're going to be able to hear your voice fine. Like they're going to be able to help you just fine. You are missing, it's like obviously more fun when it's in person, but like, let me be for real. Like if you have some big goals and you live in a small town where you don't really trust anyone that's in person because they don't really have the training or the skill set to get you to where you want to go, then like, don't poo-poo the virtual thing. Like it might really work for you. Now, that being said, if you have someone in person that you really jive with, that you love, that is trained, that is helping you move the needle, then by all means, if that's something you desire, then do that. The final thing is the person holding you accountable for the goals that you originally came in with? Because sometimes we can like swirly do and we can go around the track and like, you know, the singer might change their mind and be like, well, actually, I kind of want to do this now. And I think a good teacher is the one, they obviously give you space to figure out what you want out of your lesson and what you want with your voice. However, they also can manage you in a way where they're helping you, they're spotting you to keep you on track for your goals, and they're knowledgeable in how to actually get there. There's a plan and they are pivoting and they are responding to you and they're giving you a customized plan. I think all of those things combined makes for a really good experience with a teacher. Now, all that being said, if you are like, oh, like I can't find one, again, I'm going to recommend that, and I'm going to be releasing episodes so you can get to know them more. But my associates, Lily and Jeremy, are so awesome. Like, and they specialize in different things, but their demeanor, their professionalism, their talent, their skill at being teachers, I'm so proud to have them on here. And I hope to make them more visible to you so you can like start to get to know them and see if they're a good fit for you. But if you're curious and you're like, you know, shit, like I just want to get into a lesson and like Sarah's recommending these people, maybe I'll try them out. Try them out. Like every person that I've sent to them so far has really enjoyed working with them. And I've had to step away from my one-on-one teaching load and was sending a lot of my other students to them. And pretty much all of my students were like, I really do love working with these guys. Like this is a great transition. Thank you for recommending them. So check out Lily and Jeremy. Again, you can go to the Sarah Bishop Vocal Studio website and book with them there. You can also find their bio. Maybe I can link down below their information that you can just book here directly. The other option, like besides maybe searching the IVA database, which if you go to the Institute of Vocal Advancement.com, there's a database of teachers where you can find people that might be in your area that are IVA trained. Again, I'm so behind that organization. I do recommend a lot of the teachers. And then there's so many of them. Like if you don't jive with their personality, like you can find a different one and find someone that really works for you, that you really feel like you can trust. The other option is like, I understand that no matter what, like we kind of talked about price point and consistency, that no matter what you do, like it is expensive. Like you're going to get what you pay for. I mean, I'm happy that my associates, I feel like we're at a really affordable price for their skill set. Like you can definitely get away with studying with them consistently. And I feel like they're charging too little for how knowledgeable they are. So another reason to take advantage of that. But if it's like really just not in the budget to like spend literally thousands of dollars, because that's what it takes to take consistent yearly, like weekly voice lessons for a year is literally thousands of dollars. Okay. And then people study forever. Like voice is not something you just stop studying. So if that's something that you're like, I really need to work on my voice, like maybe you're auditioning, you're like, I need to be consistently improving my voice, but like it's literally not in the budget. Like I can't go to one of these $200 an hour lessons every week or even shit like once a month, right? Then I'd invite you again, stay tuned in the next couple weeks and come live to that class. Hint, 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 hint. If you come live to that class, you're going to have access to a offer that I made that has been so popular that it's been attended on every continent except for Antarctica. I couldn't even believe that when I saw that. People have attended from Europe, from Asia, from the Middle East, from Australia, like literally every continent, South America, North America, everywhere, literally everywhere. And it's called Discover. And hint, 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 I may or may not be running another Discover Masterclass happening this spring. And if you're there, you may or may not have the opportunity to get a resource that will help you so much that it's going to solve this problem so that you don't have to go to as many voice lessons. You can understand how your voice works more and be conditioning it when you're not with your teacher so much. So if that sounds like something you want to feel like, man, like I really want to feel like I have more control over my instrument. I want to feel like I'm constantly conditioning and getting better and actually getting better and better and better without paying $200 every single week. If that's your case, then you need to come to this free class, right? Come to this free class and at the very least, stay up on those emails, see when the notification for Discover happens and get your butt there. You do not want to miss it. I swear to God. I do these things. Honestly, I do these free events and these low ticket things because I care about you guys having access to good shit. I think you shouldn't have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to understand how your own voice works. Okay. So that's why I make them. So make the effort to take advantage of the free things and to show up for even low ticket things. Okay. Show up for yourself and come to this class and see if this thing that I've made that will be talked about, that I can't fully talk about right now, but this thing that I've made, it will help you so much. Okay. And I'm excited for you to help yourself. So make sure, if you haven't already, this is your last chance, sign up for the free Starting to Sing class. Watch your emails, right? If you come in person, again, if you can't come in person to the Starting to Sing class, there'll be a replay. So you'll be able to watch it afterwards. But please, don't let it go to junk. Oh my God. So many people get screwed up because they thought they signed up and it went to junk and then they never got it. And then they're kicking themselves. Don't be like that. Mark these things as important and try to be there in person. You'll be rewarded if you're there in person. And there's going to be more opportunity to work on this problem of feeling like, oh, I can't afford to continue. I've made something so that you can hold on to your own curriculum and continue to work without a teacher. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. And that's the end of our episode. Those are the things to really consider when you're looking for a teacher. And I really wish the best of luck to you. Obviously, I recommend the organization that I work with and my 2 associate teachers, Lily and Jeremy. But there's also just so many capable, knowledgeable people. And I have faith that you're going to find exactly the teacher that you're meant to find to help you free your voice and just fall in love with singing again. I wish you the best of luck, and I can't wait to see your butt in my free class coming up. I will see you there. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. This helps me get this information out to more artists all over the world. Let's work together to spread the joys of music. Until next time, I'm your host, Sarah Bishop, signing off from the Singer's Path podcast. Thanks for listening.